Welcome back to the Bond Factor post-debate thoughts and opinion and coverage live tonight of the debates, the final debate. I hope you enjoyed our coverage. It was certainly, I thought, pretty intense overall. I thought the debate moved along good. I thought there was good content overall, and there was actually, good, I think, just overall pacing, not a lot of name-calling interruptions. I mean, when you look back to, say, like the vice presidential debate between Pence and his running mate, I don't know his name slipping me at the moment, but anyway, that vice presidential, Pence and Kaine, you may remember that was just full of interruptions and just really sort of a confrontational thing where it got difficult to maybe learn anything, really. A lot of accusations and sort of mudslinging, and then the first presidential debate between Hillary and Trump was sort of that way, and then it moved into the second one, which sort of got a little more of a rhythm to it. As far as who won the debate, which is obviously going to be varied opinions all over the world about this, but I actually think, in my mind, you're going to say, of course, you're going to say Trump, but he wins in these debates each time a little more, simply because he gets better at it. For a person who never has done anything like this until this year, until he started this campaign, he hasn't really been a politician or a debate person. So it always impresses me when I just sort of see him out doing his thing, because when you think of his experience level compared to Hillary, who's been debating and giving speeches and political things for all of her life. She's really was raised in the political spectrum and almost sort of bred into political life early in life. So that always impresses me, that he does just an overall good job of going toe to toe in this very as the underdog. And so in that way, I think he wins. Almost for he won for showing up in the first one, but lost the debate, right? But people gave him a lot of slack in the first debate because it was his first ever presidential debate. Then he sort of made up the slack in the second one. I think here in the third one, the debate had it hit a sprint, and he did a very good job of trying to do good in this forum. I just realized that the date is wrong at the bottom of the screen here, so I forgot to change that. So sorry, let me get that out of there. It's not October 14th. It's funny, I didn't recognize that until just now, but just like that, gone. We'll worry about that later. So as far as Hillary's performance, I can't really say that she got hammered. Low information people especially are going to look at her performance and probably say, wow, she... again, toe-to-toe, and she seems she's fine, and she's lucid, and she's experienced. And I thought she used a lot of her old arguments from the second debate, so I'm wondering if that's what some of the people are talking about out there as the spin rooms, I'm sure, are moving along here. But I sure thought 2 or 3 times it sounded rehashed from the second debate. I didn't ever get that impression so much with Trump. I didn't think he was as rehashed. I thought at the same time there was a couple moments where I didn't want to interrupt, but I really felt like Hillary was just sort of flat out lying and misrepresenting a couple of things. And I think the fact that they spent a little too much time back on the accusations and the women, and when she got into that again about we've seen what he says about women, what he does with women, how he speaks about women. Okay, that's getting old with me. Okay, I get it. Trump was a billionaire. He was surrounded by hot women all the time, and said and really all they're talking about is groping or grabbing and kissing and things like that going on, where all of a sudden you've got all these people coming out, and the point didn't quite get made exactly. Trump did sort of say it's all untrue, and these it's been debunked, and these people that have been coming out the last few weeks that Hillary referred to in the debate tonight as multiple people. A lot of those people, these things happened years, even decades ago. Why wouldn't they have come out sooner if they really felt like this was such a big deal? And, I get it. Well, they thought they weren't going to come out, and they thought they'd do it now, or it would have the most effect or whatever. But I really do think these people were brought in through the campaign and through bad sources. possibly even paid to come out at this time frame, especially the airline person, stating she was touched inappropriately in first class, over 20 years ago or whatever that is, and even the big bombshell tape of what he said in the tour bus 11 years ago. And I thought it was funny, if you watch the video and listen to the Trump tape, the original sort of one that came out, where he said, some of the things he said that offended so many people. He gets out of the tour bus, and as soon as he and the other guy get out, they stumble out and walk up, and there's arguably, an 8, 9, 10 level beautiful female standing there and walks right up to him. And I mean, that's his life. That's the life of people that have money and jets, and we've seen that with so many other celebrities. So I always think they spend a little too much time with that again this time, getting back on point here. Sorry if I rambled. They really shouldn't have gone there again. I don't even know that Wallace really should have brought that in. But again, I think they disguised that question as a fit to be president, and that's how they were able to sneak that in. But otherwise, I think a pretty good debate. One that I think you almost have to maybe review for a little while again. I'd like to do what I normally do, which is I'll watch it again without all the distractions that I have here. But some of my gut feelings are, just on a level where you have to pretend that Hillary isn't just so sort of corrupted and try to look at them on an even keel. I think the debate in that way was competitive and fair as far as the moderator, but I do think Trump won. He made some good accusations that sort of Hillary wasn't able to answer, and I think Hillary sounded a little tired in some of her rebuttals. However, I do want to state before we wrap tonight that I think it's very also possible that Hillary's polish as a politician and the way that she expresses herself, a lot of the comments and the way that she talks is, over the last 5 days of debate prep that she's been, nearly invisible to the public, is super scripted, and a lot of those sort of things that she says to me are they figure out all the demographics and all the figures on what to say, and she just sort of throws some of those things out there. But I have to say that I do not feel that some of the things she said were true, so we're going to have to go back and fact check some of that. And I really think she doesn't have a leg to stand on the one point of why didn't you do anything. That was maybe Trump's highlight moment, was when he said, you're 30 years, why haven't you done anything? Why would you change all this now? And I kind of liked when she got into his tax returns again, and some of the fact that he, how he sort of said, well, why are the laws different? And how he pointed out briefly, most people probably aren't going to get this, but that she actually, and, lines pockets, they line their pockets by the things like what Trump did and giving special interests and millionaires these breaks. So it would be up to Hillary's, arguing she should change those laws by now. It should have been up to her to be more vocal against that stuff. And one thing I want to check is I never knew Hillary said back in 2008 that she wanted the wall. So that was my last thought. And she even said tonight, yeah, I did say I thought a wall was appropriate in some areas. And I think that just goes to show how she'll say anything. We have her saying open borders in a private speech, Goldman Sachs speech, or one of those speeches. Then we have her publicly saying open borders, not exactly, but we, not really, and denouncing the wall. And then we have her years ago saying we needed a wall. So that seems like a huge flip for her. But anyway, Bond Factor, I hope you enjoyed our coverage tonight. We'll be back next week with much more information for you. In fact, I have a couple bombshell announcements that I'm working on that I'm going to come out with next week. So I look forward to doing our regular show, which will be next Thursday night. In the meantime, I'll digest some of this. Of course, the Bond Factor on our Facebook page is out there and available, and you can join us there. And I certainly hope you do that. One last thing before we go that I want to mention also is good night and thank you, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. So stay good, stay strong, stay informed, get out and vote, and we'll see you next time, Bond Factor. Thank you.